It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gerry.
Best fucking intro. I fucking love that thing. Tom helps sell it.
He does.
Welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield. That's Keith over there, and I'm Gerry. And of course, I'm going to bring on our panel, which includes none other than the amazing other Keith. No, Fat Steven Seagal. Drawings. Drawings. I love that. Okay. Our good friend Jace.
Hello, everybody.
From Norway.
Yes.
And in Norway, they do things like this.
Hey, Sweden! Not Swedish, Mac, the Norwegian.
Yeah.
Well, you're still the one who likes to take in the back
Norway's
door.
favorite movie. Isn't that your national film?
Well, I'm not the one who likes to take in the back door, so.
Oh, you're a nasty prick. Okay. Deleted Scene is here, our good friend. And, of course, we've got the Limey from Liverpool, Viking Out of Time. I don't know. You always seem to have time, but you're out of time for some reason. Don't get it. All the time. I don't quite get it. And then, of course, our very special guest today is here, and his name is Jason Brasier. Now, Jason, and we're going to put you here in the hot seat. There you go. It's not just in appearance. Jason really does have a gigantic fucking head. He wears like an 8 hat, is what I've been told. I'm like 7 1/4, and I thought I had a big head. Jesus Christ!
It is quite a good hat. Yes, it is.
I don't want you to make you self-conscious, but no, yeah, I do. I want to make you self-conscious because it's funny. But hey, I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about today because one, I think many of us. What did we just lose, Keith? I think we just lost Keith.
Looks like it.
Yeah, he fucking probably got lost connection. He's at I'm not sure where he's at. He's at somebody's house for Thanksgiving holiday weekend. So if he pops in and out, don't be shocked. But anyway, Jason, I saw the trailer the first time about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And I was like, who directed this? Jason Brasier. But he does Westerns.
It's been a while since I've done a Western, but thank you for remembering that.
Yeah. I think the first time I met, I was picked to be one of the judges for the film festival, Cinemerge.
Cinemerge, yep. Mm-hmm.
And I saw your work. And, of course, I think you knew my part-time roommate and old BFF, Mac, whom apparently you two broke paths. I think we all broke paths with him at one time or another. Love the guy, but, you know, he's Mac. He's Mac. And but not mac and cheese. And that's what was the problem. I wanted it to be mac and cheese. But if it wasn't for Mac, I probably wouldn't have met you. And I'm glad that I did meet you. We're all part of, at one time or another, the Missouri Film Alliance. All of us. Keith, you, Gerry, the whole group of us. And I'm not sure, did you stay with them? Because we broke away from them because we thought
I actually was part of the reboot that they tried to do.
And again, they got a leader that, from what I understood, just didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Because I remember running into you and Brittany there at one of the meetings. I was asked to come there with Gerry, and we showed up, and I just walked out of there going, they're no different. They're still stupid. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No comment on any of that, man.
Well, of course, you are far more diplomatic than me, my friend. I am far more diplomatic than Steven, and you are far more diplomatic than me. Hey, our good friend T-Shirt is here. Hey, T-Shirt, how you doing, my friend?
What's going on, Gerry?
Not too much.
Man.
We got our good friend now. I think you met him last time, T-shirt. This is Jason Brasier. He was a guest of ours a few months back. And I like having friends on. I want him to be part of the panel. But he's so timid. He's like, when do you guys want me on? I'm like, you're freaking welcome anytime you want to jump into the panel. I'm not going to drag your ass in here.
My life is crazy, man.
I know, buddy. I know. You got shit to do. Yeah, we all got our balls of shit to roll, as my brother said.
Hey, Keith, how's the family doing, man?
Family's good. Thank you for asking.
I was kind of worried about you, man.
I'm back. I'm doing the Thanksgiving thing with the family and with the grandkids. So
that's great.
Nothing
dude.
like it.
No. Happy Thanksgiving. I forgot to say
I'm going to confuse everybody. Which one's Gerry?
The one with the top, I suppose.
But my panel's here. I love these guys.
We hate you too.
It's amazing how much we hate each other. It's a passionate hate. But every good marriage is.
We just pretend to like each other.
I actually hate Fat Steven now that I know that he's getting paid for this.
I'm still waiting for that paycheck. It's been 2 months.
I've always said this. I would rather owe you all my life than cheat you out of it.
I would rather just get my paycheck.
But I wanted to show your trailer.
Right.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I don't know. Are there any copyrights on it that we might get hit by YouTube? Because I may have to remove it later.
Shouldn't at all, because I haven't had any.
Okay. All right. So, who is fucking breathing? Is that you, Steven?
That's Fat Steven.
It's not me breathing.
Yeah,
I'm not even. I'm holding a mouse and a phone.
This is what you're doing. I'm jacking off.
Hey, paycheck.
Paycheck. All right, here we go. I'm going to share it. I'm going to go ahead and let it take over the whole screen. So add the stream and then make it dead. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I thought people wouldn't remember me. I thought it was just passing through. But I learned that afterwards. I'm very surprised. I had so many wrestling fans. They even stop now after 40 years, and they stop in my store and telling me I made their life better. This is Manoli Savinas. I've been in Springfield for 40 years, and I own a jewelry store. A lot of people don't know, but I used to wrestle professional, and my wrestling name was Mike Pappas.
He was our heroes. These are the guys that we was rooting for. He was the guys who made us believe that we could do anything we wanted to do. And when you saw him get in the ring against guys that weighed 150, maybe even 200 pounds more than him, and he would go in there and fight the fight. I mean, that encouraged you to do whatever it was that you wanted to do. You believed that you could do anything. You could be anybody.
Not a lot of guys did the flying maneuvers, the aerial maneuvers that he did. So yeah, Mike Pappas is part of that lineage, the early lineage in the WWF of flying wrestlers.
I was gone for 2-3 weeks, so I was missing my wife and the baby. But since I had the family, now I'm talking about, maybe it's time for me to do something else. My name is Manoli Savinas, and I was Mike Pappas, the Flying Greek.
Fucking beautiful, man.
Wow, you got Medusa on there too, huh?
I did. Good friend of mine, actually.
Wow, that is so cool. And I love the fact that you're a wrestling fan too. That gives us something in common there, my man.
Same here.
And I did, because it was caught earlier that he says WWF.
Welcome to Watch Mode.
And, using the 3 W's. And
yeah, where did that sound come from? That was weird. I couldn't hear you here.
Oh, there was Watch Mojo. What was that?
Yeah.
I think that it kept playing,
yeah,
video.
I think it was playing in the background, but I already shut that window down. So anyway, yeah, they mentioned the WWWF, and I think it was Steven that said, did he say 3 W's? And I'm like, yeah, because that's what it used to be called, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Worldwide Wrestling Federation under Vince McMahon Sr.
Yep, back when we were kids. Well, Keith and I were kids. You guys are younger than us. Well, John, you're
I'm 48, so no, I don't remember that. What I grew up on was a pretty.
You're still a baby. Yeah, you're still a baby.
I grew up mostly on the local area thing, which was World Class Championship Wrestling. So I grew up with all the Von Erichs, and actually, I remember Mick Foley when he was Cactus Jack Manson. You remember that?
Igor was my favorite when I was a kid. I fucking loved that guy in wrestling.
Igor the Russian Bear?
Yeah.
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 Fucking good shit, man. But I was aware of it even as a kid that there was I hate using the word fake element to it because these guys are fucking top-notch athletes.
Well, you call it K-Fab.
It's semi-scripted or semi-planned or plotted.
This is how I always describe it. It's a live-action choreographed stunt show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the choreography a lot of times was not pre-choreographed. It's stuff that they were used to doing, and they would signal each other in the ring what the next move was going to be.
Yeah, you can call it in the ring too. Yeah. Depends on how seasoned they are.
But I still love, I mean, how many of us were in the backyards pro wrestling kids? Yeah, I was there.
I used to wrestle with my father because we both loved wrestling. So,
well, here's the thing about the wrestling, though, guys. Like, if it wasn't for wrestling, I wouldn't have gotten to filmmaking.
Really?
Because I started out knowing that wrestling. When I found out that wrestling was a live action choreographed thing, or whatever, it made me like it more because I had a different respect for it because it became part performance art for me. And so my friends and I, we actually started putting on what you would consider backyard wrestling events, but we actually would do storylines and we would choreograph things and I would direct it. And that's what led me to get into live theater. And then from there, I got into film. So doing this film is very like full circle for me in a way.
That's really cool because like when I was a kid, we had in our elementary school, we had a video program and we got to shoot video and that's what got me interested in it. But one of the first things that we video recorded was fucking wrestling. We would do wrestling. So there's that little weird connection somehow between us. I get it.
To this day, I still watch Jim Cornette.
Oh, Jim Cornette.
I love that guy, man. He was super smart. He is super smart.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of the Dark Side of Wrestling with do you watch that show?
Oh, I love Dark Side of the Ring. That show's great. I love it.
Yeah, I started watching it. I wasn't sure because I don't like Vice, but God damn it, that's a good show.
Did a good job.
Yeah. I do want to recognize our audience right now. We have Jacob the Critic, who is a good friend of Keith's and mine. I think you know him too, don't you? Jason? You know Jacob.
I remember Jacob, yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been.
And I don't want to say his real name, his full name. Let's see. And of course, Zax is our director, and he's in the chat. A little bit too much in the chat. Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up. Jacob, and let's see. Pat S is here. Pat works with us and is a wonderful member of our audience. I love Pat. And of course, Martin Acosta Santana, we love you, man. Glad you're here. You're always one of our favorite people to see in the chat. And Jason Knight is here. We all know Jason. Jason, of course, is from Springfield too. So
nice.
And we want to kind of push more and more. What the fuck is this? Pedro Pascal.
Fuck Pedro Pascal and fuck the Mandalorian.
No, I'll say fuck Pedro Pascal, but I won't say fuck the Mandalorian. I love that show.
Fuck that show.
But he's a commie, you know. Another friend from Springfield, Das Wolfen, is here.
Not quite from Springfield, but close enough.
Well,
Das Wolfen.
He comes to Springfield.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Pat writes, wrestlers give their all. That's right. Body and mind. Remember meeting the original Junkyard Dog from Mid-South Wrestling. Had knee braces and an ace wrist bandage. Still did autographs outside a car lot at 40 degrees, December 1st. Yeah.
Manoli Junkyard Dog, actually. And
shit.
There's a picture in the film. With
my God.
I love JYD.
Jace,
he was my favorite.
Who this is?
Say what?
Do you know who this is, Jace?
I don't.
Oh, not Jason. I'm sorry, Jace, our Norwegian friend, because he seems to be really kind of taking digs at Jace right now for being from Norway.
Oh, yeah, because he's in that fuck Pedro Pascal, something like that.
I really have no idea who that is.
Well, I fucked Swedish people. Good in bed. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you glad you're here, Jason? Are you glad?
We have so much class on this show.
But I'm so glad you're here. You're such a good guy. That's one thing I used to say about you when I didn't even know you. I said, what was the line from the movie Wyatt Earp? He's an affable man. I referred to that on 3 different occasions, and only one person got what I was doing. I was doing a line from the movie Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner.
God.
You know, which brother was he talking about?
I can't. Movie? It's been so long.
It's the 2 brothers that were marshals, town marshals.
Virgil and Morgan.
No, it's Mastersons. The Masterson brothers. The other one. I can't.
He was talking about the other Masterson brother.
Yeah. Because he was such a nice guy. You always were to me. I thought you were just like too fucking nice. And
that's one of those dark side trivia things about me. I love the movie Wyatt Earp. I know a lot of people don't, but I love that film. It's a great movie.
Film. It's a good film.
I love it.
I wouldn't write home about it, but it's a good film.
I would.
I would. But let's get back to wrestling. And what the fuck inspired you to make this film?
Well, it's very simple. Like, I had been wanting to get back and do some documentary filmmaking for a while, and
I never knew you made any.
I've done a lot of online stuff. There's an online series that I get hired to direct episodes of called My Ozarks. I've done about 4 episodes of that now. Getting ready to do the 5th one soon. Well, a 5th one. But I did one in 2007 that was like a student film when I made it in college. But I've always loved documentary filmmaking because I always like that you can be serious, but you could also be real artsy and experimental more, it feels like. I just kind of like that aspect of it. Right. But I was working on a local talk show called The Mystery Hour. I was on crew for that, running cameras and stuff on the production side. And Manoli was a guest, and I didn't know who Manoli was. And when he came on to the show and he started talking about all these things, I was just like, how have I never heard of this guy in my own backyard? And so I finished up another project. I think it was a series, Barker Hole. And I contacted him.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I contacted him after that, and I went out and got some tea with him at this European cafe. And I mean, I was a kid in a candy store. His stories of, like, he wrestled Macho Man back in the day when he was wearing a mask because Macho Man wanted to wrestle, but he was also playing professional baseball, and they didn't want him to. So he wore a mask down in Florida and did some matches, and Manoli beat him a couple of times in that. And here it is. He talked about Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I was just like enamored, and I was just like, I got to tell this guy a story. And so I asked him, and it just kind of organically kind of happened. And we filmed, it took a lot longer to film than I would have liked, but the pandemic didn't help with that either. But the main issue was I spent a couple of years trying to track down footage of him wrestling. And all the archives that I tracked him down to, because I actually have a list of every televised event he wrestled and where and what time and what day. And it was just going through and trying to find them. And every archive that I contacted in that 2-year span had been bought out by WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So I then thought, well, what the hell? I don't got anything to lose. So I tried to contact WWE personally.
Yeah.
Figure I'm not going to hear anything. Well, then Manoli, we get a hold of one of his lawyer friends, and we have him reach out to them. I think a couple of times. And they wouldn't give him the light of day. So we were trying to be professional about it too, and they wouldn't even do anything with it. And I was getting frustrated about it, and because that was like that was like the piece of gold you want to find, is that even if it was just for a couple of seconds of him doing a drop kick, which is what he was known for, one of those big things he was known for in the Flying Head Scissors, but they just wouldn't give us the light of day. I at least expected a hard no, or at least it's going to cost you this much. You know what I mean? I was expecting that, but I got the silent treatment. And I asked another filmmaker who had done a wrestling documentary called 360 some odd, I forget, days or whatever it's called, had everybody in it. And I asked him, I said, how long did it take them to get back to you? He said, probably about like 6 months to a year. And he goes, how long have you been waiting? I said, 2 years. He goes, they're ignoring you. Now, that was prior to Medusa coming on board to narrate. If I would have had her on board earlier, I probably would have seen if she could knock on a couple of doors for me. But, you know, it was just all about timing with that. And, you know, and she graciously agreed when I pitched it to her to narrate the film. And plus, it's just fitting that Medusa is narrating the Flying Greek, you know, with Greek mythology. Different spelling, of course, how she does it. But so that was kind of cool with that. And she's going to be at the premiere. So that's cool. She's going to be in the town in a couple of weeks. But yeah, that was kind of the whole thing of just how it all started, getting back into it. Was I just sat down and talked with him. And as I started talking to him, it was just like, can I tell your story, please? And I'm big on preservation, not just with history and stuff, but like this guy's story was just cool to me. And it was one of those things where you're like, this would really do good on film. And there's some cool sequences in there too. I even got him in the ring at one point, so you'll have to check that out.
Ooh,
actually, there's a bit of it in. It's in the trailer. I saw him body slam you.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
That looked like you.
It wasn't me, but he did kick my ass.
Well, who was it that looked like you?
That was one of our cameramen. That was Chris Gregg.
Wow, he could be your brother or something. Damn.
I don't know if you see him, you probably
just be your stunt double.
Stunt double there. Yeah, but yeah, that sequence was a blast. He beat my ass, but I had so much fun doing that sequence and learning from somebody who, good God, was in the ring with some of the biggest names in professional wrestling history, and it was just like I just forgot the cameras were there, and I was just soaking that in, you know. And does Medusa still have a monster truck? I don't think so. I do know that she did do prior to the pandemic. She did do some monster truck driving in Australia again, but I don't think she's gone, you know, been back to do that. Obviously, on some YouTube, we're looking for footage of the Flying Greek.
She's going by Alundra Blaze now, isn't she?
Well, Alundra Blaze was her name in WWE. Medusa is actually the name that she legally owns that right to, and that was what she started off as, Medusa Michelli.
Oh, yeah, Medusa Michelli.
She wrestled originally in Japan, and that's where she was really like, the way she was treated in Japan as a wrestler versus the United States is night and day. And I say that because I'm still actually working on a documentary on her. Slowly, but we're putting stuff together. I'm actually digitizing footage and all that, and trying to get all that figured out. But the way things have looked like how she was treated. It just baffles me how Vince McMahon and them portrayed her. And she had some great matches as a Alundra Blaze. Don't get me wrong. Her and Bull Mikado were amazing. It had amazing matches. But when you see some of the matches that she did, and I think it was All Japan Women's Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
She was treated like a freaking goddess over there. Like, they respected her so much that they actually made a belt for her. That's just a belt they gave her that was calling her their people's champion. Like, she has that belt. So, night and day compared to how she's treated, how she was treated in the U.S. as a wrestler versus Japan.
Interesting.
Wow. So, Jason, considering, now everything that you've been through, are there any other wrestlers that you wouldn't mind telling their story, or have you? Okay, what?
Some of my dreams. I mean, of course, I'm working slowly on Medusas, but
yeah.
But I would love to do something on Terry Funk, but I know he's not in a good way right now with dementia, which makes me sad because he was one of my favorites.
Dang, man.
But I loved him. I would even love to just do a documentary on the original King of the Japanese Deathmatch tournament that him and Mick Foley were in. Not just about them, but like the whole tournament that culminated.
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah.
I would love to do that. And those are a couple of them. I know Terry Funk would be a big one, but Dark Side of the Ring maybe get into that before I do. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I got to tell you again, damn good show. Damn good.
Oh, it's a fantastic show. I absolutely love it. And
the one they did on the flight.
Oh my god! Yes, yeah. That was,
I was like, I never heard of that before, and I'm like, fucking wow.
Yeah, I've always heard of that plane ride, but that they definitely had more stories on that. I can't believe there's not I agree. That's why we've been talking for a while. And a few years ago, we actually did a promo video to raise funds to do that documentary, and we did not get as much as we had hoped on the attention side of it. So I just told her, I said, listen, I think a lot with documentaries, it just comes down to we're just going to have to make it. Because if you make it, people will want to watch it. That's what everybody was saying. They wanted to see it. They didn't want to help on it, And so I just said,
well, I'd like to suggest to you too, because and you and I could talk after the show. Is I have a direct connection because I worked with Roddy Piper, and I've wanted to do a documentary about him for a long time.
Yeah, Roddy would be great.
That's so understandable.
Well, there's stuff about him that people don't know that I think should get out there. His my connection is also to his family through my friend Cody Knotts, who I've done artwork for a bunch of his movies. Awesome. And so you and I should sit down and maybe have a meeting with Cody about getting permission from the family to do a doc on him.
His daughter's actually wrestling now.
Yes.
Teal.
Yeah, really? I didn't know that.
I was happy and honored to get to work with him. I worked with him on that stupid movie, Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. I did the artwork for that movie.
I get it, but you know what? Back in the 70s, in Lucha Libre films down in Mexico were kind of like this genre in and of themselves. Mm-hmm. If you don't know who the Lucha Libres are, the ones that wear the masks. They're like superheroes down there. It's how they were always kind of treated. Well, during the 60s and 70s, they had this huge run of almost like their own Marvel cinematic universe where
El Santo.
And the Blue Demon were all doing these movies, but they were like wearing suits like normal people. Then they'd have their mask on and they were trying to solve crimes or fight these weird things.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those and they look great.
They are fun.
They're fun. I was like, man, I'll tell you what, I would do one of those for fun.
Yeah, that's what the 5th season of Angel had, an episode that was kind of dedicated to that a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Forgotten genre in a way, and they are cheesy, but they're it's all in good fun,
Oh yeah.
And speaking of Blue Demon, he actually, you'll see in the film, I was going through all of Manoli's photos, and behind a photo, I was moving it, and this other photo fell out. Really small photo, and about this big, and I was like, what is this? And I looked at it, and it was Manoli standing next to the original Blue Demon in Mexico in the ring.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I was like, I was kind of like, is this Blue Demon? He goes, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I know this is a job to you, and I respect that. But do you know how big a photo this is? Like, and so that's definitely in there in the film. But it's one of those things that I learned through doing this was two things. Well, a few things. One, how wrestlers were treated back then.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it's like they know it's a job, but you don't see them outside the ring much, so your only perception of them is how you see them in the ring, right?
Right.
And the problem with that is you don't see what they go through on a daily basis, and you don't know their private life or whatever, which is fine. You don't need to know that, but
that's true.
The way like some of the logs he was going through about how much he made when he would drive 400 miles to do a match. You know, he wrestled in the original Madison Square Garden, and he got bigger pops than some of the other wrestlers. That's why some of the bigger wrestlers hated him or did not like him in some way, shape, or form, because he was getting bigger crowd reactions than the champions were.
Wow.
And, I even tried contacting Madison Square Garden because I know they've got an archive, and I was just trying to see if they had anything, and they never got back to me. So it was. So I ended up doing something. Actually, there's some scenes in the Flying Greek. I called them dream match sequence matches where Manoli could still fit into his wrestling gear, by the way. And I got him to, like, I got one light shining down. We did smoke, black backdrop, and I got real artsy with it. And I had him actually wrestle around with Mike Strain's son in front of the camera, Madison.
Madison's a good kid, man.
Yeah, he is. And so it ended up looking really cool. I made it in black and shot, and then I'll edit it in black and white for those sequences. So it's almost Dark Side of the Ring-esque in a way, and how we did it. But I actually shot those sequences before the first season of Dark Side came out. I think that's how long ago it was. Those sequences, at least. But yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling on.
No, that's what you're here for. Ramble. Ramble.
I gotta point out Zach's out here in the chat. Yeah, he's right. It was Onita who owned FMW, which was Frontier Wrestling.
Yes,
and he brought in.
Yeah,
he brought in Funk and Foley. Yeah, that's right. I've seen some of those too, and those were really good.
Yep.
He also brings up the fabulous Moolah.
On your mic.
Moolah is in too.
Yeah, who's
T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm echoing on somebody.
It's coming when you're talking. It's coming from yours.
I don't know how it could be.
It's doing it. It's weird. Just I want you to be aware of it. So.
No, I know, but I mean, like, how is it happening?
I have no clue, buddy. I have no. Okay. I don't understand these interwebs and all the weird magic shit it does.
It sounds like it went away.
But to go back to Zach's question about Moolah, I don't know what I'd have to ask Medusa about that in particular. I think it was a lot of the men in the industry, and in my opinion, just from looking at her career and everything, I think a lot of the men.
Was it professional jealousy, you think?
I think, but I also think that they did not understand why she would like. I don't understand how they would even think this, but when you watch her matches in Japan, my first thing as a promoter would be like, I got to get this chick here, because she can kick everybody's ass. But then when they brought her in as Alundra, and she won the title, and then sometime right after that, Vince McMahon just said, I'm not doing a women's title anymore. And she just was gone from WWF. And she still had the belt, and she tried to give it back, and they never would take it back. Wow. Then she ended up getting a call from WCW, and that led to the infamous scene on Monday Night Nitro where she took the original WWF title and dropped it in the trash can. And she still has that belt. And when we were filming her promo video, she got it out and like put it out in front of me, and I just said,
"I thought you threw that away."
Is this the one that you dropped in the trash on Nitro? She started laughing. She goes, "Yeah," and I said, "Can I take a picture with it?" I had to, and you know, it was funny because I'm like, you know, I don't try to what they call mark out for a lot of these wrestlers and stuff, and she laughs whenever I bring up certain wrestlers because she knows there's certain ones that I really like. And she's like, "Yeah, you're marking out for them." I was like, "You're damn right I'm marking out for them. They're awesome." But yeah, I don't know. It's the whole thing with Moolah. There's a lot of history there that I've only heard things, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I would have to ask personally because I think everybody's from my perspective, from what I've seen, I've talked to some people who were actually trained by Moolah and never had any problems that other people were having. But that's not to say that what those other people were saying wasn't true. You know what I mean? It just depends. You know, and the belt in the trash. Yep. You know, she did some great things in WCW though. She was with the Dangerous Alliance with Paul Heyman and all those guys back in the day. That was always fun to watch. But you know, I think she also with the film, I think she kind of identified with his story because Manoli's story is essentially an underdog story and how he was treated because he would get promises made to him that just didn't come through, and it's
the underdog and outsider.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. And I think that she identified with that because I think she has felt the same way. You know.
Oh, I can see that she does. Yeah.
But you know what? She's one of the nicest people I have ever met. We went to Chicago to film some stuff for her documentary. Gosh, it's been a while. We still have all the footage, but we went to the first AEW pay-per-view, but it was that StarCast, and we're just following her around. You know, here we are backstage running into Gerry the King Lawler, and they're talking. She took a picture of I was standing next to Gerry as we were filming, and she got her phone out and took a picture of me and Gerry together, and I was like, "That's so cool." Medusa took my picture with the King, but then we're running into all these people, and it was just so cool to see all these wrestlers just being themselves because you always see them in the ring, and you know, so it was kind of cool to see them out of character and who they really are, and experiencing AEW's first pay-per-view and getting some really just great footage of her interacting with fans there. And I can't wait to get that documentary officially into editing because right now it's just piecing all of it together. But it's, you know, her story is unique, and I think that's why whenever I asked her to narrate The Flying Greek, I think she kind of identified with some of it and loved his story, and that's why she said yes. I think they actually have a Brody Lee documentary coming out. I actually think they do. I'll have to look that up. I can't remember, but I think I've heard that they're doing one.
You know, if you can ever get some more information on this on the... Man,
Sherry,
who is echoing?
That's you. Hey, Sherry. Thanks for...
I'm going to restart my freaking mic.
Because I'm muted the whole time. It's not me.
Sherry.
All right, how about now?
If you're into pro wrestling, feel free to make a comment. We'd love to hear it from you.
Is that better?
That sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds better. Now I'm not echoing.
Sounds like crap.
Well, your face looks like crap, so there we go. You know, if you get a chance to talk to her about it, there is kind of a tragic figure of pro wrestling, and I mean, pro wrestling has tons of those, but one in particular that I really liked was Luna Vachon.
Yes, and they actually did an episode on Dark Side of the Ring, and actually Medusa's on that, talking about her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Luna, her family, they go back quite a ways in wrestling too.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad they did just an episode on her, but I do think that she's somebody that deserves.
And not to distract from your movie, I want to point out The Dark Side of the Ring is a fucking awesome series. One of the few things that I like on Vice. I think it's a garbage network, but god damn it, that's a good show.
It's a good show. It is a really good show. They do a great job. Jason Eisner, I think, does that, directs it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. His one that they did on, gosh, who was it? In the first season. Well, of course, the one on Owen Hart is.
That was, oh my god. And that's somebody that I would like to see a movie. Yeah, I'd like to see a movie about that guy.
Yeah,
Roddy Piper deserved not just documentaries but movies about them.
Well, the one thing they did do on Dark Side is they did a two-parter, so I think that helps. So they actually got more. I think it was a two-parter, wasn't it? I think it was. I may be wrong, but
here's Sherry. Sherry says wrestling used to be great. Now not as much. Too much drama.
Depends on what you're watching. In my humble opinion, anything that WWE puts out right now, and maybe this is why they haven't got back to me, but anything they put out right now, I think is crap.
Yeah, it is.
Well, once they go back to being WWF, I'll like them again.
You know, it's not even that. I think the problem is that when they became a publicly traded company, he stopped listening to the fans because he had to listen to his
investors. Yeah.
And I think that's the main issue, and that's why AEW is doing so well, is that they're not a publicly traded company, and they were listening to the fans. And I think that's what's important. And AEW kind of feels like a mix between old WCW and New Japan Wrestling, and it just comes across as fun and unique, and I love it. Yeah, yes, X. WWE, right. And you know what? NXT was actually good there for a few years when Triple H was running it, and now Vince is over, and I'm just like, nope, not gonna watch it. It's and they would just say, I'm not in their demographic. Okay, that's fine, but it still doesn't mean you need to put out a crappy product.
Now I know that we were having local MMA fights in Springfield televised. I wish we could get televised local wrestling.
Well, I thought the same thing for you. Because actually Springfield...
Let's talk after the show.
Springfield was actually one of the first places in the United States to actually broadcast professional wrestling nationally.
Yep.
And
Yes, it was.
Nobody likes to talk about it whenever I bring it. Because in KY3, years ago when I was walking through there for something, I can't remember, they had an old camera in one corner, kind of like a little display, and they had a couple of pictures up, and those pictures were of the news desk pushed back out of the way, wrestling ring put in with chairs, and then Gorgeous George, the original Gorgeous George, walking to the ring. And I was like, what's this? And then they told me, and every time I bring it back up to people locally about that stuff, they just don't want to talk about it because it's wrestling. I'm like, I don't think you really realize how kind of a big deal it is for wrestling.
It's one of two major things that Springfield, Missouri has.
Who's writing War and Peace?
That would be me.
Okay.
I'm always writing War and Peace.
Wrestling and a lot of their early country music shows, especially the one that they had that was national for a while with ABC.
Those are
So yeah, Springfield, Missouri has been one of those places that's had a few things going on for it, and for whatever reason, people seem to not want to talk about it. So
back in the day, because I think people automatically shut things off because it's wrestling, and it's like stop looking at it like that because it's one of the top things watched on television. You gotta get over it. Sorry, let's just own it, because there's I went to a show here a few weeks ago for a thing called Mid-States Wrestling out of Arkansas. They come every couple of months to Springfield and do a show, and they actually showed the Flying Greek trailer at their event, and so I went, and it had a really great response. But I tell you what, that was one of the best indie shows I have seen. Because sometimes, indie shows can be hit or miss because it depends on how seasoned some of these people are, or if they're just brand new.
Yeah.
And it was a good show. And they had a death match, and somebody accidentally got busted open, and that wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm sitting there just going, oh yeah, you know. I'm like, oh, that guy's got a concussion. I know he's got to have a concussion. Sorry, what did Das Wolfen say? My dad would take me to the convention center in Sedalia to watch. So yeah, Harley races WLW. Do a lot of stuff. That was with old school resorts like Bulldog Brown. Yep, and Harley. Yeah,
they had some real back end wrestling in Lebanon, Missouri.
Yep.
And I was working for actually a really big company there as their artist, and the salesman, his name was Marshall Devaney from Oklahoma. And he go, boy, we need to dress you up as a woman and put you in the ring, man. That'd be some shit, because I had really long hair at the time. He's like, you just beat the shit out of those people. Be funnier than hell.
He was going to make a wrestler out of you.
I'm like, yeah, but he wanted me to do it as a woman or a transvestite. And I was just like, dude, you almost got me, but the transvestite part, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Come on, you could have gotten a career in wrestling, you know. You could have had a good wrestling career, Gary, you know.
Yeah, well, with my bad knees, I don't think it would have worked.
You know,
I was gonna say, I think that's kind of funny, actually. Stuff like that would have been considered like a way ahead of its time gimmick, considering what Goldust went through. But on the flip side of that, though, Dustin Rhodes, you know, when he went up against WCW and basically told him to fuck off when they tried to put him in a whole new outfit and everything.
Yeah, he was doing standing, right? He was like that ghost cowboy.
Yeah, that really kind of flipped wrestling back in a different direction. I think that's what.
Yeah, I just actually recently watched that clip because he totally just took the mic, wasn't supposed to, and he just let loose.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was like, I don't think this is supposed to happen. I remember as a kid thinking that, like, yeah, it wasn't. So
yeah, he just completely cut a promo on them.
Yeah, and he was done. I think he was going through a lot of tough stuff at that point too in his life. But yeah, when you give somebody a crappy gimmick like that, like it's like he was wanting to get back to being Dustin Rhodes, and they didn't want that. Like, no, we need to put you in face paint just like you were over there. And it's like, I don't think he wants to do that.
That's why he came over here.
Yeah, exactly.
But he is AEW now, isn't he?
Oh yeah. He's one of the trainers. He helps train a lot of the female wrestlers.
Yeah, and what is it? Jeff Jarrett had what, TNT or
TNA wrestling?
TNA, yeah.
Total Nonstop Action. Yep.
Total Nonstop. Are they still going?
They're known as Impact now.
Oh, so they're Impact now. Okay, I've lost a little touch with them.
Yeah, Jarrett left. I don't know all the details. I have to go back and look, but it was TNA Impact Wrestle. Like they had their show was like Impact, like how we would have like Dynamite or Raw. And then after he left and whatever happened, they basically just changed the company to Impact Wrestling and got rid of the TNA. And they're still going. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of the shit that's going on in the WWE now is just, it feels so dated and gimmicky. Like,
well, yeah.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that. Who's this kid now that like he's some Scottish kid who transforms into this demon thing and all that? And,
Finn Balor?
Yeah, Finn Balor.
Well, Finn, he was known. He was in New Japan before that in Ring of Honor, I believe, and he was the original founder of the Bullet Club in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to WWE just like Shinsuke Nakamura did from New Japan.
Oh, I love that guy.
Shinsuke is great, but I think
Shinsuke's great.
He's treating WWE as kind of like his retirement because he's just doing whatever. He doesn't seem to really have any agenda with what he's just having fun and getting paid to do it. So I think that's kind of his retirement type situation.
But he's great though, and the audience loves him. He's got that great theme music.
Yeah, his theme music's my phone ringtone actually still. But
yes,
the thing with Finn, whenever he was in Japan, Prince Devitt was his name, and so he would do all the paint over there. Like he would do cool paint on himself. Well, when he came to WWE, I guess they were like, "Well, we got to make this like a part of your character gimmick, and like maybe make it like a every now and then when you get mad, suddenly you appear with this makeup on this demonic, and we'll call you the demon, and it'll be like, it's it's the same guy as a face paint. I mean, it's kind of silly to me, but he's a really great wrestler. But WWE's going through a lot of stuff right now too. I don't understand letting half their roster go while having.
Well, they're just a microcosm version of what's going on in every major studio. Well, you've got.
Yes, I can see that. Well, because here's the thing: they post their quarterly earnings, and they are making bank. Like there's not any money loss. Like if you go look at their quarterly earnings, if they were like losing money, I would understand. Okay, yeah, you need to let some people go. You're paying too many people, but they're letting so many. Like I'm not talking like 2 or 3 wrestlers. They're letting like 20 or 30 wrestlers go at a time. And
so what do you think's going on?
I don't really know, but my guess is that with Vince getting as old as he is, I think he's trying to prep it to be sold.
You think so?
How much involvement do you think his wife has with some of this stuff?
Yeah,
I don't think she does anymore. I think she's more into politics now.
Well, see, that's what I thought was at first going to drive them to success, and instead they seemed to part ways.
She's come to some of the events. I mean, she comes and is involved as a family thing, but she does. Don't quote me on it, but I don't think she's involved.
Because I think she's smarter than Vince. I really do.
Well, Vince is just kind of getting, the man only sleeps. The rumor is that he only sleeps 3 hours a day. Like he's always working. And so, to me, if you're letting half your
he's psychotic.
Probably, I don't know, man. But the only thing that makes sense to me is you were letting go of some of your top selling people while your quarterly earnings are through the roof. And to me, I'm like, the only way that makes sense is if
there must be some writing on the wall we're not seeing.
Yeah, I think I to sell at some point.
I think also that's also a tactic that you would do if you were really greedy at that time, in so much as that you try to keep it to the point where all your biggest names, all the people who could ask for more money and probably deserve more money, you get rid of them at the height and you bring in more people. I mean, technically that looks like what Kevin Feige was trying to do with a lot of the original MCU actors, is that he was trying to get rid of them so that he could clear a path for new stuff.
Yeah. It's possibly true, but man, I don't want to get started on Feige or Star Wars or anything right now, because we'll be here forever. But
well, maybe we should just go on streaming. No, I'm just kidding.
Dave Meltzer agrees. Oh yeah, Meltz. I actually met him at Chicago. Ran into him by happenstance, and
I don't know why that name reminds me of Belzer, because there's that connection with him and Hulk Hogan when Hulk Hogan put him to sleep on his show.
Cornette is not a fan of Meltzer.
A lot of people aren't, because they kind of consider him what they would call the dirt sheets for wrestling, like spreading rumors that may or may not be true or whatever. I'm more of a fan of the show Wrestle Talk on YouTube, because they seem to have a lot more going on.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Brett. Very sweet of you, my friend. Just thinking that for the studio side, why have they not been really able to hold their talent to make them broader stars and more people back to the WWE?
Here's my opinion, whether it's worth anything or not. I think what it comes down to is, back in the day, there used to be a little bit of long-form storytelling where you had time to get invested in the conflict, of what was going on. They don't do that anymore.
Nope.
The longest thing I have seen last, storyline-wise, has always been on NXT, prior to their new version. I think that Triple H did and Shawn Michaels, they ran NXT. I think they did a great job when it was the black and gold brand. Rumor is that Vince and the higher ups were mad that NXT was getting beat out by AEW on Wednesday nights. And so this was kind of like one of the punishment type deal. Like they're going to take it back over and make it just a territory for them to get new talent and train, which is what they were doing anyway. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? But I think that some people will argue that it's because they have too many people, and I'm like, well, even with too many people, they're not even giving some of their main like. It's one of those things. Like right now, this bugs me so much. I don't watch it, but I heard about it the next day because Twitter was lit up. I watched the clips, but like they had a Survivor Series last Sunday, right? And Vince has not been on TV for a while. He comes in and he's just doing his normal Vince walk. He's carrying around a Fabergé egg. And he sits Roman Reigns down in his office at one point and talks about how his cousin, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, gave him this Fabergé egg as a gift, and it's worth millions of dollars. Roman looks so pissed off that he had to be sitting there, but he was doing it because he told to. That's his job. He did it. He's a company man. They were trying to promote The Rock's movie Red Notice that had come out on Netflix 2 weeks prior. And if you hadn't watched Netflix or watched that film or even seen a trailer for this film, this whole skit that he
made no sense.
Made no sense. Yeah. And now, then he does stuff like this. Then the egg got stolen, and whoever finds whoever finds the egg gets a title shot. And I'm just going, why are you doing this? Because all he's going to do is going to give somebody who he thinks has potential, and he's not going to put them through, climbing up. He's just going to give somebody a shot to see what they look like. And
this is one of those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that things have changed over the last almost 20 years. The entertainment industry now is being fully controlled and run by corporations.
Yeah.
And since Vince is not a quote unquote corporation of any size compared to the ones that are running.
Well, yeah, because this falls right into what I just said. It's a microcosm of what's going on in a major studio system.
Yes.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And so he's trying to stay relevant while being pushed to the side is really what's happening.
I like that. That makes total sense.
And and not to flip on that stuff too, but like up from the 90s till about maybe 2014 and maybe pushing it, they were good. It was fun to watch. But between in that 14-year span, between 2000 and 2014, when they had finally got their legs going of being a publicly traded company, that's when you could start slowly seeing the change.
Yeah.
Just thinking that.
No, this is. I wanted to thank Brett because I usually show a video clip for everybody that puts a sticker or a question up through Super Chat, and this is his thank you.
I like you. You have balls. I like balls.
There you go. Thank you,
Brett.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
So, real quick, while I have it on my mind, to segue back, so we're still talking about wrestling. The premiere of the film is happening in 2 weeks.
Yeah, because because this segues into my next question, which is, where can they see it, and how can they get a copy?
So,
do you have a link? Give it in the private chat. Give it to.
I don't have it up for that just yet. So we're entering it into some festivals right now. Hopefully, we'll hear about one here. Hopefully, we'll hear about that sometime this week.
Because I'm not going to be able to make the premiere.
Okay. Well, I am going to have
to see it. Damn it!
My plan in the new year is to have an online screening at some point too. But if you are in the Springfield area or if the surrounding area,
Joplin,
you go to Manoli's Jewelers, you can actually meet the man, and he'll sell you a ticket. And these are what they look like. I don't know if that's there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
You actually get this nice little photo of him.
Oh, that's...
Look, it's Andre with his kids.
And there's Tony Atlas.
So
that's a family man for you right there.
Jay Strongbow on the other side. But
yeah, Chief Jay Strongbow.
He'll sell you a ticket there. And if you want to buy them online, you can go to manolisjewelers.com and the link is there and you can buy them online. And then when you come in, you just show us you bought it online and then I'll give you one of these. You know,
Jason, real quick, I want to say one thing. The last major wrestling movie that I remember coming out, and this shows you just how fucking old I am, was that Beyond the Mat documentary, which I absolutely hated the way that was put together because it showcased all the worst parts of the wrestling and was cut in a way to make the wrestlers look worse than they really were.
That came out like 96, didn't it? 97?
Yeah, something like that. And
it's been a while since I've seen it. I need to go back and watch it. I remember watching
tabloid journalism kind
of it really was.
It.
The one I remember in the late 90s was Hitman Hart wrestling with shadows, and it was about the Montreal screw job.
Oh yeah.
Hail Parrothead. Parrothead's here. What's up, my friend?
But you know, if also really quick, not just if we actually have regular tickets, but we actually have VIP tickets where you get like a team with Medusa and Manoli after the show.
Oh damn!
Autograph.
How much are those?
Yeah.
We actually have for $100, and I've sold 26 of my 50 that I've had available.
Wow.
So we also have special limited edition T-shirts that'll come with that too.
I'm really proud of you, Jason. I mean, I've watched you evolve from a kid. You were a kid when I met you. You know, you were a kid, and I was just like, at first I was like, man, his hair is thinning pretty young. That is.
Wow.
Oh, my daughter.
I'm sorry. You know, I say these mean things to you because I really do love you. I think you're a great guy.
It's all good. It's something that has followed me for years, Gary.
But we met because of Mike Strain and Cinemerge. And I've watched you evolve as a filmmaker, and I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with you.
I appreciate that. You know, I always try to.
This looks like a wonderful film, and I can hardly wait to get a copy of it.
Yeah, well, we're going to be doing some, you know.
Even if I have to pirate it.
Wow.
We will be releasing it. I just got to talk to Manoli about it because here's the thing about the premiere. We weren't planning to have the premiere this quickly. When I finished it, I went to talk to him about it back in September or October. Yeah. Late September, and he told me he was fighting stage 4 colon cancer.
Oh my God.
So he was wanting to have it in November, but we ended up going with December so we could have some extra time. But it has shrunk 60% since his last visit, so that's great.
God.
Yeah.
But 10% of all the ticket sales are going to go to, if I can pronounce this right, fightcolorectalcancer.org. They're actually a nonprofit here, actually on the square, near the square where we're going to be at.
That's fantastic, man. I'm glad you're doing that, and I'm glad he's doing better. But that's tragic news. I hope he does recover.
You know, but he's just like, he may be an old dude, but man, he's
in good shape, dude. I saw him without his shirt. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. I remember after doing the sequence with him wrestling, he hit me with a clothesline.
Whoa.
And I told him to. But right before he hit me, like 3 seconds before then, I was like, I got to remember how to take a fall. And I did it.
I was trying not to remember.
And I did it. And he stopped and he looked at me. And I said, what? He goes, you know how to take a fall. I said, well, I tried to remember about 3 seconds before you hit me. And he just shook his head and said, that's great. For that man to say that to me,
yeah,
I was good. That made my day. Ironically, an hour after we got done filming, I had to get my brother to come pop my back because my whole like right arm and everything was tingling because I landed wrong at one point in the ring. I couldn't.
Look, I've been there just like that because Sifu Al DeCoscos, that's Mark DeCoscos' dad. He played the Crow on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Al was the original guy picked to play Bruce Lee in Dragon, but by the time they finally got it produced, he was too old, and they got Jason Scott Lee. He dislocated my arm because we had just finished putting the new acrylic down on the floor, and I had hand painted the entire dojo. That's how I paid for my martial arts training, was painting for my Sifu. And Al came in because he was my one of our Sifus, and he did a move called the Adini, and it sent me over and spinning, and I went threw my hand down like you're supposed to do, but I was wearing kung fu pants, and I just kept sliding, and all of a sudden there's this loud pop. My shoulder popped out, and I got this. My hand went from the floor straight to my shoulder because I didn't want it to pop any further because I was afraid it was going to completely come out.
Yeah,
push out, and it took both of them because they're both small men. Al DeCoscos and Sifu Terry Faircloth, both of them had to pull my arm. I had both men with their feet in my neck and head and in my ribs, pulling my arm out, and I pushed it back in. And but I got to tell you, I fucked up a fall.
Why is Gerry upside down?
So,
why is Gerry upside down?
He's not.
It's you. It's the whole world, my friend.
What the hell's going on here?
We're all upside down. Well, we are at the end of the show, man, and I want to go again about if you are in near Missouri, come to Springfield on December. What is it? 11th?
December 10th at 8:00. It's a Friday. The doors will open at 7.
What theater is this showing at? Or
it's going to be at the historic Fox Theater down on the square next to.
Oh, nice spot. God damn it! I got.
It is a great spot
to get there.
And the trailer is actually playing on the marquee. I sent it to them, and they actually been playing it for a couple of weeks.
Keith, already. You will be there, right?
Oh, I'm planning on being there. I would not miss this. I have watched Jason grow and develop, and I got to say, I am incredibly proud of him. I'm incredibly proud of
him. You know him. Shut up, Keith.
Okay.
You guys are so mean to
we fucking love you, dude. We really do.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys too.
That's why we invited you to be part of our panel, because it's like, because we're proud to be the #1 nerd channel on YouTube in Missouri.
In Missouri.
Now, a lot of people go, that's really not saying much.
In Missouri.
But there are a lot of nerd vlogcasts in Missouri, and we're the most watched and the most subscribed to, and we're proud of it. And but more so, we're proud to be a Missouri channel. We are a Missouri channel. We're proud to promote Missouri, and we want to promote our friends in Missouri, and you're one of those friends. And so that's why we want you on the panel too, not just coming on here as a guest, motherfucker. Come on here, come on here and be one of the guys talking shit, But I'm gonna find a way there, and then I want to photograph with all three of us. I expect to take a photo with the three of us.
Don't do it. He's using it as an alibi, Sir Principal.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Stop narking on me.
I do have to say this about the premiere, because Manoli, he's finishing chemo up like the week before.
Yeah,
I think is what I think. Don't quote me on that, but his family and his doctor is asking people to have. We're going to have masks. I'm going to be wearing a mask. It's not because of COVID or anything. It's not political. It's just that his immune system's going to be shot to crap, and we want to make sure to protect him from anything. Because if the man catches a cold, it could be. And so we're doing that as well, but it's not a political statement thing. It's just like this guy's immune system is not shit.
Well, as we wind up here, I think Jace, is your mic working, or is it still dead? Because his shit died during the show. He's just staying to listen. I forget his channel, and I don't have it with me right now. Zach, do you have a copy of his channel?
He's got to make sure that thing's charged up, because we're talking to Mike Barron here in a little bit.
No, yeah, maybe that's what. Jace, you better fucking get your shit going. But and that's not you, Jason. Jace.
No, I
Jace from Norway.
Sweden.
He's Norwegian. So I give him shit, so much shit that he knows I do it out of love. If I don't talk shit to you, I don't like you, and that is an absolute fact. And you'll notice that there are people in our lives, Jason, I don't talk shit to, so you figure it out.
That's all right.
But I'm proud of you, man. I'm really proud of you, and I think this is just one fantastic looking film, and I can hardly wait to see it. And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. I'm going to give all the guys a chance to shout out their channels. Let's start with our good friend Fat Steven. Fat.
Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, both monetized, all in under a year. Gaming, copyright-free music. Patricia Tallman, Lita, joins us on Monday. She was also a stunt worker for Star Trek DS9 and TNG. You know the drill. Other than that, to be honest, I know nothing about wrestling except that my brother used to practice the moves on my cat. That's all I know about wrestling. That's all I know.
What he does with his cat. And I'm just telling you, that's not creepy at all. No,
it is creepy. He's a ginger. He's very creepy.
Hey, Zach, can you share his link in the chat?
Thank you. And you can find me on Twitch. Sorry.
Our limey prick friend, Viking out of time.
That was my outro.
I love limeys, and they know. Now, I've got friends from Scotland. I have close friends from Scotland. One of my business partners is from Glasgow. And sometimes I'll call him Limey just to irritate him. But when I say Limey to my British friends, I say it with absolute love. I fucking love Britain. And Viking, tell us about your channel and promote yourself, my friend.
Well, of course, I'd like to first say thank you, panel, and myself, and I hope that we pass the audition.
Still not getting paid. Shut up.
I hate fast stuff for that. Follow me in my channel that is called Viking Out of Time, just like that, Viking Out of Time. I've just released a video talking about the Masters of the Universe Revelation Disaster, that is part 2, as I came across some spoilers, but because I cannot confirm any of them over the past weekend, I did not talk about them in a video. Now that I have confirmation that most of what I found out is actually true, I talk about it, I have an analysis on it, and it's just having a good time, and talking about the things that I like, also the things that I don't like, and calling out the situation as I see it, in the entertainment industry, because I do not really like a lot of the things that are happening. So it's just like having fun, hang out, share, subscribe, and, bring your dictionaries, just like Gerry, because he always needs one.
Fuck you.
This stream was brought to you by Backdoor Gerry. Someone's got to put it in there.
Oh my God, you motherfucker. You betrayer.
No. The turkey's ready for Thanksgiving, eh?
And
Both fingers.
I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Jason, I hope you guys had a good one.
Thank you. We did.
I already wished you a happy Thanksgiving in private. So,
thank you.
So I'm not going to wish you one now because it's already passed. Jesus, quit holding it over me.
Happy Black Friday.
Man, why'd you go racist?
Keith is offended.
That's what they call it, man. I don't know. It's not me.
Man, I only shop on Black Friday, motherfucker.
You know what? It'd be great if I actually got a lot more stuff half off. I don't know. I'd just like to put that out there.
What is that?
We don't get any of that.
Gary,
You're lucky.
Start an OnlyFans for that stuff. I don't know what that is.
And Keith, I only do Babylon 5, bro. Nothing else. Sorry. Can't. No.
Oh, really?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no reach arounds.
Unless you want a paper one.
Wow. I'll show up when they have the
always grifting.
Michael Straczynski reach around. That's when I show up.
He sits on a tree branch dressed like an owl when drinking Chardonnay. We already know that.
Oh, jeez. And again, officially, I'd like to tell my parents, yes, these guys are my friends. They are my friends. So.
Why can't we be friends?
But let's get on to the next one.
Because you get paid.
Our good friend Deleted Scene is here. Deleted, tell people about yourself.
I am Deleted Scenes here on YouTube.
All right, thank you.
Twitter. Here on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and various other platforms. I have recently been named the co-host of Saturday Serial, along with Matt Allen on his channel Bud Boy Productions. So catch us there tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern.
Hopefully you won't suck on that one.
Wait.
Of course I
Bud Boy
will.
Productions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat.
Yes, please, Zach, share that. Thanks, Deleted Scene. Anything else, man? That's it. Okay,
well, I want to thank I want to thank Jason for being here. Good luck with the movie. I did have one very quick question while we still have you. There are a number of wrestlers who use the sport as a springboard to get into acting or politics or what have you. So there are some that work using a specific gimmick. My question was, how much of it is how much of the gimmick is of their own making, and how much of it is scripted? They come in with a gimmick or without.
Recently of WWE, from what I understand, I don't have any connection to them, so I don't know. But from what I've heard over the years, is that they give you a gimmick. They don't, because WWE is about owning intellectual property. So, they didn't want to use Medusa's name because they would have to pay for it because she owned it. So that's why they did a London Blaze. They own a London Blaze. So, but a lot of wrestlers like in AEW and like New Japan and whatnot, Impact or whatever, a lot of these people, come up with their own gimmicks, and then they just kind of try to find what works and what's getting the best response organically from the crowd and even from the the trainers and stuff backstage. It's sometimes going to be a trial and error thing. I think that if you've never heard of a wrestler named Danhausen, check him out, because his story is interesting, because he tried to be like this horror gimmick at first, and he was about to quit wrestling, and he went out and did this really silly kind of face paint that was based on Captain Howdy from Exorcist. And he started doing this really funny voice, and he started clicking with the audience. And so he stayed with it, and he's one of the bigger independent indie stars right now. So it can just vary. I know that AEW, what they do now is more old school. They don't like to script. You really have to have some good improv skills sometimes and off the cuff. I think CM Punk's a good, a good example of that. But like a lot of wrestlers will say, "Hey, if I'm going to cut a promo on you, is it okay if I say this?" And they, so they do talk about those things, but a lot of the times it's not written out. They just kind of thought of what they're going to say, and they just kind of go with what the audience is doing and kind of feel the room, I guess, sometimes. But they can vary from wrestler to wrestler and from company to company, really. Because WWE, everything is scripted and heavily, you have to know say your lines, and you have to do this and that, and you have to wrestle toward the camera. You don't wrestle to the crowd anymore, type of stuff like that. So it can vary. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank
I
you.
forgot what the question was. But
hi, everybody. I'm back.
Jason,
hey, Jace.
Before we get to Jason, T-shirt, promote the shit out of your channel and yourself.
Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your T-shirted historian, and you can catch me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on The Week in Geek, where me and my panel try to remain positive in a world of increasingly shitty pop culture.
I always wonder why you have me on there, because I'm such a fucking asshole.
Because we
I
need
know.
an asshole. We need the white man to blame.
Well, I have to reassure people that we're not just talking in an echo chamber and just blowing smoke up our own asses. So we have you there as a reality check.
As a reality check, okay.
It's really hard to
out there. Zach, share that link. I highly recommend the channel, even when I'm not on there.
And also, if you didn't catch it earlier this week, we did have our Thanksgiving Day edition of Dungeons and Discussions with myself and Grim. And the very next day, we actually had a live playthrough preview of Whitechester, which is Grimm's own Indiegogo funded game background that I'm also participating in writing. So that was really cool. Also, we were kind of breaking Esh Singh's cherry in on playing TTRPGs, and it was hilarious because he turns out to be the most evil motherfucker in the whole party.
He has a really evil side.
He's really dark. He's wanting to sacrifice the entire family of people to get a better familiar. I'm like, dude.
He's the nicest guy.
Scary stuff.
It was funny.
Chase, your turn, my friend. Now that you can talk.
Finally. No, you can find me. Oh, fuck you. But no, you can find me in let's see how many, in 2 hours. Me, T-shirts, and hopefully my co-host Chris, and maybe Ironcaster might join if he gets the time. We're gonna have Mike Barron on our interview show, so you can find me there in 2 hours. Other than that, you can still find me on the same channel, 540 Studio, and you can also find me here. You can also find me at T-shirt Historian, and I will announce that I am working on a pretty fucking epic intro for T-shirt Historian. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
All right.
Yeah. No, but I'm working on a new intro for T-shirt Historian, the geek in the week.
Oh, nice. Well, I like his intro already. Wait.
Yeah, it's it's basically the same, just remade.
We made it. He made it better.
I'm making
$6 million man did. Okay.
No, it's gonna be a lot better now.
Good. I'm next.
So yeah. Other than that, just before we end, just remember, life's too short. Make the most of it, and everyone who's watching us, and our viewers, our fans, our family. If it wasn't for all of you, we would not be in here today. So thank you to everyone.
Well, thanks for bringing the show down, man. That was great.
Bark. Well, fuck you. You can just go and take it in the back door.
I want to point out that tomorrow, Keith and I are doing a members only video. No porn. Sorry, no porn. We will also have Mike Barron on for personal questions, so you can have, if you got questions for Mike Barron about his career, where he's going, the book that we're working on together. I'm doing Mike Barron is like the guy who reinvented the Punisher.
Yep.
That he wants to work with me on a comic kind of blew my mind. I'm like, yeah, if I could do it with you. Yeah. So we're going to be.
You going to make it to my show tomorrow, Gary?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Ours is before yours, motherfucker.
Okay. Good deal.
Wait a minute. Ours is at 2:00. What time is yours?
4.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there with my bells on and nothing else.
Well, good thing is the camera only catches you from the neck up, so.
Yeah.
God,
maybe I'll wear my neck brace tomorrow. Anyway, I want to thank you for coming here, buddy, Jason. And I will make it to the 10th. I will find a way to get there so we can do that photo. And I want to talk to you, too, about Keith and I hosting when you do the live thing, your showing of the film online. We'd like to host that with you.
Okay, we'll figure that out then. Yeah.
All right. But anyway, stick around for after the credits. I want to thank the chat. What a great chat today. I want to thank Zax, Das Wolfen, Pat S., Deleted Scenes for being both in the chat and on the show. Same with Zax. I want to thank, Fat Steven, fuck you. Who the fuck is Pedro Pascal in our chat? I don't know who that is. Is it someone we know? I don't know. Is that you dick? That was you.
Who do you think Backdoor Gerry is too, motherfucker?
Yeah, backdoor Gerry. God, you're such a cocksucker.
Well,
Kaylee,
can you get some pleasure?
Up. Martin Costa Santana. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Jacob the Critic, who's a friend to all of us. And let's see. Oh, Das Wolfen, if I didn't thank you, man, for showing up. Thank you, Sherry, for showing up. Anybody? I don't want to forget anybody. You need to start making a list of everybody that joins us, so I don't forget who joined us. There's that.
Well, Gerry literally knows everybody, so it'd be his list would be like, FDR, the Pope, Ronald Reagan,
Queen. Don't forget
the Queen of England.
Yeah, but which Pope? Which Pope?
His proctologists, both 1 and 2.
Let's see. Parrot. Oh yeah, Parrot Head. Jeez, I gotta think that guy sends the best fucking memes in private chat I've ever seen.
Some of them
cheers me up. Some are just like outright lewd.
Yeah,
I enjoy some of that shit he sends to me, man. I crack up. And Brett, again, thanks for the $5 super chat. With that, everybody on the show, stick around for after the credits. We'll talk for a few minutes. And
stop.
With that, I will play the outro, and we're the fuck out of here. See y'all next time. Come back now.
Fuck everyone here.
Come back
and go watch The Flying Greek.
Fuck yes. December 10th, Springfield, Missouri, motherfuckers. Yay!
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.
Keith is so professional when he does that. It's so awesome.
Yeah, but he always forgets the other things like Facebook, Twitter,
and remember,
Instagram.
We recorded for you guys. We are just like Midnight Edge.
We're like Midnight's Edge, but we don't have a cool Norwegian guy. We just got this Swedish dude.
Fuck y'all, man.
I thought he was a Czech.
Y'all come back now, you hear?